Welcome to today's episode of Your Community. Your Community is a production of the Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government and Community Empowerment, highlighting the contributions of people, groups and businesses who exhibit an exemplary social conscience. Today we're in the community of Vieux-Fort, where we will speak to different community drivers and our social transformation officers for Vieux-Fort North and South in the community. I'm your presenter, Adhara King. This is Your Community, Vieux-Fort. This episode of Your Community is being filmed in the community of Vieux-Fort in the south of the island. I am now on location in Belle at the Human Resource Development Center with the Social Transformation Officer for Vieux-Fort North, Ms. Antonia Renee. Antonia, thanks for joining us on our program today.
Okay.
I hope you're having a good day.
I am.
Tell me, as a Social Transformation Officer for Vieux-Fort North, there must be something in you that is passionate about community development. So, how did you become interested or involved in this field that you're in now?
Okay. Through my exposure with helping out the other social transformation officers before me, like Mrs. Doreen Gustav and Miss Norma Herman and those persons, Mrs. Velda Joseph, who was then a social transformation, to become a social transformation officer. So it caused me to do my studies part of it in social work, and continued helping. I got involved, like you said, the Return to Happiness, and also anytime a disaster like the Christmas Eve trough, right, those kind of things. Thomas, when the officers are going out into the communities to assist persons, I was on board.
So you enjoy field work. That's something, yes, that's something I've noted about you for sure.
Very much so. So when the opportunity came, the vacancy came, I applied and I was successful.
All right. Well, congratulations. I mean, by now the audience has gathered that you are new to the job. As somebody who is recent in the community, and this is not a community that you are from originally, how has the feedback been? What's the relationships you're building here?
So far positive. Of course you get a few negative, but that has never stopped me before, and it's not going to stop me now. I'm more or less learning the ropes, because now, whereas before I was assisting persons, now I'm here on my own. So it's me now. So it's kind of different. So it's kind of different, but it's been good so far. And the thing is, I'm not just the social transformation officer for the area, I'm also welfare officer for Vieux-Fort North. So kind of have me split in half, sort of. So it's been going good so far.
Tell me a little bit about what you do. As you mentioned, you are also the welfare officer. A lot of people might not know what that means. So what is it that you do as a social transformation officer and welfare officer?
Social transformation officer, we more or less facilitate things happening in the community. Community groups and different organizations make it easy for persons to access government, kind of, because they always feel that there's this divide. So we're kind of standing in the middle, bringing the two together. Yes. And as the welfare officer, some people call us social workers, which sort of we are. Persons that are not able to go out there on their own to get the assistance that they need, persons with disabilities, elderly persons, those persons, they either somebody come on their behalf to request assistance, or some of them are able, they come in on their own and request the assistance, and we try to assist as much as we can.
Final question as we're about to wrap up. Do you think that you must have a lot to be able to give a lot?
I don't think so. I don't think so. And as it is going through the different communities, working with the different officers, persons who have next to nothing, other persons who are always willing to give up their time. Most times it's just the time you need. Somebody may just need a listening ear or something, and you don't need anything to do that.
Exactly. Thank you. That's something I wanted to bring out, so thank you very much. Thank you, Antonia, again for your time, and all the best in your endeavors here in Vieux-Fort North. And we hope that we'll see you again on Your Community. Next time we'll catch you in action because Antonia is an action person. So thanks again. Stay tuned. This is Your Community. We'll be right back. The Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government and Community Empowerment is making it a little easier to care for your special child. The National Grant for Children with Disabilities is here for you. To apply, please note that your child must suffer from a severe disability, meaning that he or she can't see, hear, talk, walk, or a combination of two or more. Fill out an application. You can get one at the council office in your constituency, Social Transformation Regional Offices, the Blind Welfare Association, and Child Development Centers island-wide. Once your application is complete, you will be referred to the nearest healthcare facility for evaluation. When your child has been examined by the doctor, your application will be processed. When it is approved, you will be contacted. You will receive your disbursement through your bank or credit union account. The National Grant for Children with Disabilities, a special gift for your special child. We are in the community of Belle, Vieux-Fort, and I am on the farm of the Belle Kitchen Garden Group. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And with me is the president of that group, Miss Kate Edmay. Miss Edmay, welcome to Your Community, and thank you for agreeing to speak with us today.
Thank you for coming to our plot.
All right. Miss Edmay, tell me, how did you become involved in community development and what is your vision for your community?
Okay. I started as a teacher. I organized after school program for the children because I realized that after school, some of them are not involving themselves in effective activities.
Mm-hmm.
When they get home, the parents are not there and they go about gallivanting, finding themselves in behaviors that are unacceptable. So I decided to get an activity to keep them involved during the absence of their parents.
Okay.
I also, as a catechist, I did both First Communion and Confirmation, preparing them. I moved to the wider community where I worked with the parents.
Mm-hmm.
I realized our people have the potential, but they need someone to help them to empower themselves. First, I introduced the National Enrichment Learning Program, where 40 members were able to acquire skills in cake decorating, garment making, and also to enhance their academic standard.
Okay.
I still felt that wasn't enough. With the after-school program, we did backyard gardening, and I saw it fitting to get the parents on board to introduce it to the homes because the children were very excited.
Mm-hmm.
The parents were very energetic. They made sacrifices to come and assist us on the farm in the schoolyard. Mm-hmm. We practiced seedlings at home, and I saw a wider scope. I felt I should open it to the wider community. So a proposal was sent to Jeff, where we received a grant. So this is the reason why we are on this farm today. It's a grant we received from Global Environment Facility, UNDP.
So your hard work is paying off.
Yes.
All right. Now back to the second part of the question. I know I threw you a two-part question there. But I know earlier in our chat you were speaking about your passion for community development. What is your vision for the community where you live?
The vision for my community. I feel our young people, most of those who leave school right now, are unemployed, and there's very little that they get engaged in. So I feel my vision is to help develop a more positive and healthy environment. And I also want to see it being sustainable.
In your mind, what are your thoughts on what is necessary to achieve that within the community using your human resources and whatever other resources that you have available to you?
Okay, Belle has been a farming community with very fertile soil. Hence the reason why we looked at agriculture.
Okay.
Our vision in agriculture is to help promote agriculture using the local resources that we have in order to empower our young people, especially those who are unemployed, so that could generate income.
I see so far on the farm, from what we've seen, there's a lot of vegetables. There are a lot of vegetables, growing here. And you seem to have a dedicated group of people because they're here from morning until afternoon.
Yeah, our members are very dedicated. They look forward to a day when every day they keep on telling me, I'll be so proud when I get my check to flush it. Okay? Yeah. So they are looking forward to get something beneficial from it.
And we are also looking forward to see what's going to happen with the development of the Belle Kitchen Garden Group. So thank you for joining us today on Your Community. I know it's been a short conversation. I'm sure there's more that you want to share with us. So we'll have another opportunity for you to do so. Thank you and stay tuned. This is Your Community. We are in Vieux-Fort.
If we could save our children, we'd solve so many problems. This is your call to action. Join social transformation. Help save a mind, save a child. With life skills or academics, it's all worthwhile. Help save a mind, save a child. Mentoring or music, it's all worthwhile. Come help save a mind, save a child.
This is Ronald Bohingson, inviting you to join the Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government and Community Empowerment in support of the Community After School Program. For more information, call 451-9042.
You save a mind, you save a child. Volunteer your time, it's worth your while.
Welcome back to Your Community. We're in the community of Vieux-Fort and I am on location at Chanel's Family Restaurant with proprietor of Chanel's, Mr. Samuel Bryce. Mr. Bryce, thank you for accepting our invitation to be a guest on our program today. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well today. I mean, today's bright and shining. I heard up north had a lot of rain and stuff, but we're okay in the south.
All right, good. So your business and you personally is involved in giving back to your community. You've been identified as somebody who gives back and who helps a lot in community development in Vieux-Fort. Tell me, how did you get started in this and what are your thoughts?
Well, basically giving back to community has been part of my life. I grew up in a family where communities were about giving and sharing and bartering and that kind of thing. And therefore, it just became a part of my life. I enjoy giving. And that's just the way I live, and that's how I'm going to continue living.
In your opinion, how important is it for a community to pool its resources in order to achieve social development?
Of course, it's extremely important because when you pool resources together, you have strength. If you separate resources, it becomes fragmented, and actually there's no value of the resources that exist. So putting them together gives you more strength.
What sort of social activities have you sponsored recently here in Vieux-Fort?
Oh, well, we've sponsored football clubs, basketball, I mean, you name it, and Chanel's is on board. Cricket, you know, and we even go outside of the community. I'm originally from Monrepo, and from time to time we would have clubs coming to us for support. I mean, on a personal level, people come with their woes and problems, which we understand, and we always try to facilitate and help as much as we possibly can.
All right, good. Thank you. Thanks again. And I wish you all the best with your business and just generally in Vieux-Fort, because I realize that you seem to be a very active person in Vieux-Fort. You have a awesome personality from what I can tell just speaking here with you today. So tell me, before I leave, I want to ask you one more question. Tell me one quality about yourself that you think has been important in who you are today.
I am who I am today, and I'm happy to be who I am because I'm a people's person. I enjoy people, I love people, boys, girls, women, everybody. I just make my life happy with people because that's what I'm doing in this world, just sharing my life with people.
Share your life with people. You heard it here on Your Community with Mr. Samuel Bryce, Vieux-Fort, Chanel's Pizza. We'll be back after the break. Stay tuned.
I made a stupid mistake.
See where it's now landed me.
My baby's now behind bars.
Feels forgotten by society.
It's time for us to make a change.
All of us make a change.
Juvenile Justice Reform Project.
All of us
make a change.
Make a change.
Instead of incarceration, y'all, let's try diversion, reform, rehabilitation.
Our youth needs a second chance
Beyond bars, a world that accepts them with open arms.
It's nice to know that you're here.
Just know that we care.
This time we'll do our part. Let's all make a fresh start.
It's time for us to make a change.
Justice Reform Project, a new path to changing lives for good, funded by USAID and the OECS Secretariat.
With me is Social Transformation Officer for Vieux-Fort South, Mr. Faustinus Faisal. Mr. Faisal, thank you for agreeing to be on our program. Not that you had much choice, because you are the Social Transformation Officer down here. So as a Social Transformation Officer, introduce yourself to the people and give us an idea of what it is that you're engaged in here in Vieux-Fort South.
Okay, well, like you said, Adhara, I'm the Social Transformation Officer, Faustinus Faisal, for Vieux-Fort South and Library. Basically, what it is that anything that has to do with development of the community, development of social, economic, all aspects of development, as you mentioned, cultural, educationally, everything that has to do with development, I would be involved and would participate in this sort of activities in the community.
Okay, so you interface a lot with different community organizations, obviously, in your community. What are your thoughts on the role of community organizations and non-governmental organizations in developing your community? Because we know a lot of people depend on government to do almost everything for them, but we see the development of community committees, development committees within the communities. So what are your thoughts on the role of those organizations in community development?
Okay, well, each and every, I would say, sector has its role in the development of the community. I mean, government on its own alone cannot, in fact, government, I don't like to say government because we tend to think that government is a set of maybe 17 persons or so, and we call them government. But for me, I rather say governance, and government is the people. And we interface with a lot of community groups, I mean, all throughout the community, engaging in all sorts of, all types of development. I mean, anything that would further enhance the community, work with the people, and their role is critical to the development of the community, because you find they are the ones that live there. They are the ones that on a daily basis they traverse the length and breadth of the community, so they would know what affects them, what they need there, what they would like to see there. They would know where their community come from and where they want their community to go. So it's not that government can do, government can only assist, but they would have to come together, like as we are proposing through development committees, and come together and sit down and plan where they want to go with their communities, what they would want to see it like, and then they would work. We could work with them as government agencies to help them realize their goal and the dream they have for their community.
Okay, in your experience, how important or how influential is the family structure in building a strong community?
Okay, well, that is one that we cannot underestimate at all. In fact, I think it is the most important aspect of development in the community, because any kind of meaningful development has to take into consideration the role of the family in the community. And the family, no matter how you look at it, we have a lot. It must start from the family, because the family pattern is what governs the community patterns in all communities, and that we cannot put any price value on that as well, though. It's just overwhelming in terms of value.
Exactly. So the family trickles over into the community. We're going to wrap up our interview with you now, whilst we're taking the beautiful view here in Vieux-Fort. Thank you for inviting me into your community. It's been very enlightening so far. Stay tuned. This is Your Community, Vieux-Fort.
Mick says domestic violence is more than the bruises and scars that one can see.
Get in the mix today. Multiple indicator cluster survey. Better data, better decisions for the upcoming generation. Children need better healthcare and education. Lights, clean water and better sanitation. Commit ourselves to providing employment, literacy, early learning. Children need protection from abuse. For that we have no excuse. Get in the mix today. Multiple indicator cluster survey. Get in the mix today.
This is an announcement from the Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government and Community Empowerment.
We are here at the Vieux-Fort Square with the President of the Bellevue Development Committee, Mr. Kendall Elva, who has graciously accepted our invitation to be on our program. Thank you for joining us here today. Mr. Elva, how are you doing?
I'm doing great today, and you are most welcome in terms of conducting this interview with the President of the Bellevue Development Committee, and whatever I say is representative of the views of the executive and not just solely me as a person, but I think also more importantly the people of Bellevue, because they are the individuals that we work with in order to advance the development of the community.
Tell me a little bit about your background in community development and what have you been involved in your stint as president?
With regards to community development, I would say that it commenced with a stint at the Mount Cairn Evangelical Church, where I serve as vice president of the youth group, and in addition to working towards the spiritual growth and development of the young people, we also engage in life skills training and other youth development activities. From there, I would have served as president of the Vieux-Fort Comprehensive Secondary School Student Council in my last year at A-level, and there we would have advocated for a better school environment for the students and also implement activities that would help empower the students. Away from school, in terms of my entry into what is known as classical community work, it would have been during the period of 2004 when I teamed up with persons like Joel, Frederick, Shonas, Isidore, and some other young men from the Seventh-day Adventist Church. In those days, they were known as the Inspirers, and we sent in an application to the Digital Current Connection Initiative, and we were the winning group from the Vieux-Fort district, and we implemented what was known as AIDS is everybody's business, because you would understand that the Caribbean is only second to sub-Saharan Africa in terms of HIV rates of infection. And for us, we utilize a host of edutainment strategies such as popular theater and other activities that attracted young people such as pageants, sporting activities, to help build awareness as it pertains to the issue of HIV and AIDS. And that happened within the context of a group which was known as TIDI, which stands for Theatre in Education and Drama in Education. So TIDI did a number of activities in terms of visiting all the secondary schools in the southern part of the island, organized a number of community workshops, a number of community shows to ensure that people got a chance to get tested. People also got a chance to learn various skills, such as life skills, as it pertains to sexual reproductive health issues. And I believe that up to a day like today, though you do not hear much about the issue of HIV/AIDS, but to me it still remains a very relevant issue that we have to respond to. However, as members moved away in terms of employment and overseas, you'll find that that led to the group ending. However, it is something that I believe should be looked into in terms of the issue of HIV and AIDS.
Not to cut you short, but you seem to be involved in a lot in your community. What personal values are important to you that you would like to share with others who are embarking on the journey that you have?
In terms of personal values, I think for me it's an issue of non-dependency. I find many a times we wait on government agencies or outside agencies to come in to rectify or remedy the issues, whether it is economic, social, political, health or cultural, that is affecting the community. I think that we need to gain ownership of our community, we need to love our community, and one of the things I believe is that individuals at the community level, such as Bellevue and other communities within the Bellevue area, such as Vieux-Fort, Fort-Joyeux, Fort-Coulis and the likes, these are people who have a good understanding of the issues that they are confronted with. And I think that is vital, because the fact that you understand the issues, you should be able to realize what ought to be done. And if it's a matter which is affecting you, I think with you making a contribution to that particular issue, it helps to empower you. And so for me, it's all a matter of promoting indigenous leadership. People have to develop a greater appreciation for themselves as a people or as a community, because the community as a system is necessary. As you would have learned from the old adage that it takes a village to raise up a child. So whatever happens with my neighbors has implications for me, and whatever I do has implications for the other. So though I'm not being afflicted by a particular issue directly, but if my neighbors are going through a problem, later on it may affect me, and this is what drives my motivation when it comes to engaging in community work. And the whole issue of social justice, I fundamentally believe that every individual ought to have equal rights, benefits, protections and obligations as afforded by our Constitution. And we recognize that there is a degree of discrimination, there is a degree of prejudice, stigma as it pertains to different groups in the community, particularly persons who are differently abled, single parent households that have been led by females. You have children who have been abused, you have persons who are not too financially well off, persons who are at the bottom of the socioeconomic class ladder. And for me, there is an ethical, there is a moral, almost like a spiritual sense of responsibility, and this is what drives me and other people from the community in terms of trying to engage in self-help initiatives to bring our community forward.
Very well said. I can't add anything to that. Thank you. Very insightful. I hope that our audience is taking note of what you have said, because there are lots of important pieces of information contained in what you just told me here. So thank you again for imparting your knowledge and your experience a little bit with our audience, and we hope that your work in the community continues to progress the way you would like, and all the best in your future endeavors.
Yes, thank you very much. I think it will, because I work with a good group of people, and the community is quite supportive of what the Belle-Four Development Committee has been doing over the years, and I believe that there's nothing that would say that they will not continue in their support.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Most welcome.
We've concluded Your Community in Vieux-Fort for today. Join us next time as we come to your community. This has been a production of the Ministry of Social Transformation, Local Government and Community Empowerment. I'm your presenter, Adhara King. Thanks for watching.